And I always say strum as if that is even mildly appropriate. I have a strum, which is what you do to a guitar. I haven't strum in fuck, what's it been? 3 weeks? Let me just make sure the audio's Friday night spelunking. Bring this joint a little bit closer here.
An unforced error there. They don't get the snap off in time.
Alright, let me turn the gain up a little bit. One good thing is that I don't really have like fucked neighbors anymore. It's pretty cool. I used to not be able to bring my gain up at all, dude, or I'd like hear a house of horrors near me. No, you know, I throw the gain up, nobody gives a fuck, you know? Because no one will fuck up my stream. I just wanted to do a stream, dude. I haven't strum again. I gotta stop that shit. 10 days. Golly, dude. It'd be one thing if I like posted more content. Which I had a video that I've like literally been damn near done it with editing, and I just haven't put it out in 4 fucking. I mean, I've had it pretty much ready to go 4 days ago, and I just haven't done it. My desire to do YouTube is, I don't know what to say, is it an all-time low? Because I mean, there's been times where I haven't put anything on YouTube in like a month. So like I'm doing better than that, but like it's very easy in the absence of like a real break of real life for me just to be like, you know, fuck YouTube for a minute. And it's not because like I hate anybody, like my fans. I really won't call them fans because I don't get repeated viewers, nor do I think anybody should be a fan of another person, much less a dude that has 193 fucking subs. Really no reason to be a fan of me. But my subscribers, you know, I don't have any problem with them per se. The ones who do come back to the channel. It's just that, like, I just don't like, with such a shitty general outlook on things, the premise of being consistently on YouTube is one that does not resonate with me. This is Friday Night Spelunking, me just being depressing fuck. And playing fucking CFP 25 is like the easiest game for me to just sit here. Sports games, the only value sports games has, and I like CFP 25, I mean, it's a legitimately fun game in comparison to most of the bullshit this industry provides. The most value that any sports game provides is that it's like you use maybe a 25th of your brain to play these games. I would say any other game of any other industry uses more of your brain power than this sports game. The lowest common, and I don't mean this in like a racial sense, I mean this in just like a stupid sense. The lowest common denominator of people are the ones who like will go to bat for sports games being like on par with the rest of the industry in terms of like quality gaming. It's just not, and it hasn't been for I don't know how long, because even if you go back to when, you know, people out there kind of self-profess, oh my god, this is when games used to be better, sports games used to be better. Like back then, all in their industries were better. So it's like there's no like period of time where sports games were just supremely comparable to other industries that were also doing good. You know, if you thought like back at 2K15, you know, a very renowned 2K, you could say 15, 16, 17, whichever one like works best. At that time, we would have had like you know, Dead Souls games coming out. You know, you would have had like, you know, kind of the beginning of the movie AAA kind of rise. Well, really, it would be the beginning, but that was about, was that Uncharted 3? That would have been about Uncharted 3 or Uncharted 4. That was PS4 generation. That would have been a couple, that would have been around TLU 1, I believe, 2014-ish. GTA 5 came in 20. So I mean, it was a point where like the cinematic aspect games came out, which, you know, some people might contend that was like the death of gaming, more or less. But like, you know, I mean, we still had a pretty decent time in gaming in terms of not sacrificing too much story for graphical resolution. And it was a point where games started to get to a point where they were just outrageous in terms of the sizing of them. But it was still somewhat manageable, you know. We had WWE games still at that point in time. The ones by it starts with a Y. I forgot the name of it. The industry, not the industry, but the studio. Starts with Y. Is it Ukes or something like that? They did SCR 2011 was their last one. So I mean, reasonably recent, but yeah, I don't know. 2013, 2014 is a weird time because it's just like how much. That was the real jump in like how long it took, like took studios like actually put out games. That's when they just got a huge jump. It's kind of hard for the PS3 because you know, the PS3 was fucking expensive in general, but like I think the games were maybe in a PS3 is when like games started becoming like more of a chore to create. But yeah, by the PS4 generation, it was definitely OD by that point. Yeah, PS4 generation was tough, and obviously PS5 generation. I mean, you get like one game from a studio every 7 years. You know, it's unreal that you got. Fuck, what was it like? 3 Elder Scrolls in like 4 years, and this is like late PS2, early PS3, if I remember correctly. Well, I guess kind of mid PS3 because Skyrim came out in 2013, and it came out. I don't think it was only a 360, if I remember correctly, 360 and PC. But I might be wrong about that. I don't think the base game of 2011 would have not been on PS3, but yeah, different times. But you had 3 of those games in like more or less like a 4 or 5 year span. Again, massive undertakings at the point in time, and you've gotten 0 Elder Scrolls game in 13 years, which is just fucking incredible to think about. I mean, you got so much in regards to kind of post-release content of Skyrim, but like in the modding community it holds it down. But it's the simple fact of Bethesda, who only released, off the top of my head, Bethesda has done Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Skyfall or some shit like that, something like that. So they've done like 3 or 4 games, Matt, since Elder Scrolls in like 13 years. And 2 of those games I listed sucked dick. I didn't like Fallout 4. That's the first Fallout I ever played, and it was fucking boring. But you know, people fucking best franchise of all time. I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's just me like shooting RPGs that just don't get along. Western RPGs don't get along, but the game is fucking terrible, man. Maybe I play one of the good ones. I don't know. The problem for me is I just like did not play any like kind of the legendary Microsoft franchise when I had a 360. Like I had a 360, and I think I had a 2010 because everybody at that point in time, you know, if you were of sentient age at that point in time, the only thing you heard about was the 360, not the PS3 for the most part. I mean, I had some friends at school that played, you know, 360, but it was like just 360, or not 360, I mean PS3. The 360 was just far and it's just pretty much the same lead, I would say, more or less, that the PS4 had over the Xbox One. Was kind of like the same one the PS3 did not have over 360. It was the inverse. But it was, I don't know, man. I can't say it was like a thing where the PS3 had no audience. It just wasn't comparable because it just fucking out the gate got blown the hell out, and it had to play catch up for so long, you know. But I did have some advantages. I mean, the PlayStation Home was something that the 360 did not have. No equivalent of it, if I remember correctly. I mean, they had a more like vaunted, you know, kind of customization option for your avatar, if you want to call it that. But like, and that mattered. I mean, like, people checked out your avatar mattered. Like that was just a general thing that was really followed across any kind of hub. I guess I don't want to use the metaverse word, but like any kind of like hub where you could design an avatar. That shit mattered in any social media. Facebook, you know, had some games that would require, or not require, but ask you to do avatars. Damn, shout out Desmond Howard. I think that the Wii had that, the Mii, which is the biggest version of that concept. What else? Damn. I'm trying to think in my head right now. I don't know. I mean, those are the massive ones, obviously, but like, I mean, you had the games, the kind of flash games that IMVU and Second Life and Pop Tropica. I mean, it was huge to just personalize this meta image of yourself, and that concept is like, I mean, even I think it's still kind of this in some ways. Like you have Bitmojis, you got Facebook, which allows people to do like, instead of profile pictures to avatars. You got the Apple thing, so I guess it never really went away. It just became less fun. I think, at least to me, someone who's like, my light is dim in terms of like, whimsical, fun to just be fun type of shit like that. I don't know. I have to have somebody that like has hope in life to fucking to comment on the purpose of using avatars now. I don't know, man. Some people are callous. I'm a very callous person, I want to say. But that's why you do therapy, right? I feel like the worst thing about like the human anatomy, at least when you get to as much of a degenerate as I am at this point, mentally, is that you kind of have a point where your brain can still have like a functioning, like, okay, I'm addicted to this, I have a vice, and it'll acknowledge it's a vice, but then it'll still fucking have it to where you're like, oh well, vice is pretty fucking cool, and they have all the studies, basically showing like how your brain becomes like adapted to whatever the fuck you interact with. So it kind of like shame people like, do you have shame? It's like, I mean, I think everybody has some inherent, like, if you're like addicted to crack, right, like you have like a 1% of you that like knows that being addicted to crack is bad, right? And you're like, it's possible to listen to reason. Thing is, like, your brain literally like adjusts to hide or to mask that shame because crack gives you happiness, dopamine, which for a human being that does not have like fucking monk level control over their ability, like their mental faculties, like you're not like a monk basically that's like committed ego death and like mastered the human mind. Other than that, man, like your whims are stronger than just about anything else. Like if you fuck with Boruto, and I'm just riffing at this point because this is all I wanted to do when I was in the stream, it's just a riff. If you fuck with Boruto, there's this thing where I won't spoil it, but it's like basically a power that can have it to where your memories get changed to fit the user's desires. So like if the user said, I want everybody to think that Naruto is actually like a trans, what's the guy, is it a trans male, is that what it is? I don't know, but basically like instead of being a dude, he's a fucking chick. Okay, so this person's ability would basically have it to where everybody in Konoha thinks that Naruto's a chick instead of a dude. And that, like, your own memories would be reshaped to like support that reality. In the same sense, that's kind of what your brain does to fit like your vice. Like if you're addicted to fucking, it's literally anything, your brain will shift. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be drugs even. I saw a study. The same thing happens on porn. If you're addicted to porn, you've been addicted to it for like a decade or whatever, your brain's pretty much molded to like expect that hit, and it's just addiction works pretty much the same way. It hits the same general pieces of the brain no matter what you're addicted to. That should have been my pick. It doesn't matter what it is. So we could have like multiple parts of the brain says, okay, well, this shit's bad, but like really what's happening is that like the most like, I think in control, I guess that'd be the best way to put it, the most in control parts of your brain are just going to have probably the last say. So you got to really have like something really strong as a motivator to like, no, I'm not gonna smoke weed, I'm not gonna do blah 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 blah. Which when people say like weed isn't addictive, it's the most funny shit of all the time. Literally anything is addictive. Actually, Gentry only has 85 yards today. Incredible, dude. Only 85 yards on 21 carries, like 4 yards a pop. That's like sensational defense. That's like NFL like defense on Ashton Gentry or Genty. I can't pronounce the nigga's name. NFL like defense on that guy.
they're better, they go out, they take the figurative sledgehammer and hit him right between the eyes.
And they just look good.
Three running backs that won the Heisman since 2000. He's averaging double the YPC of Derrick Henry, damn near. He had 17 touchdowns through his first 6 games. Only one other person on the list had 10. Other ones had less than single digits. Now keep in mind, like, the Boise State plays some fucking terrible teams, right? Like, horrible teams, right? Teams that are not in the same realm as Boise State. They have played some that are like, they played Oregon, who he had a great day against, like, wonderful day against. They're playing UNLV right now, who like had pretty much the kind of inside track on the playoffs. They took a loss though. They had at one point. They're like pretty much right now the Boise State's like the best team in their conference. So it's not like they play only bombs; they just play a lot of bombs, you know. But hell, I mean, Alabama 2015, the SEC was fucking terrible in 2015. Like, I don't know how the USC Pac-12 was. I knew, what Pete Carroll, the USC was in a different fucking realm than most of the Pac-12. But this Derek. I mean, I know like his, seasons. Like, I'm not playing the best teams all the time, but this Destin Howard like just kind of moves different a little bit in these kickoff returns, as you would expect. But see, the point being, like, I know Pete Carroll was in a different realm than the rest of that conference at that point in time, but SEC in 2015, I was there, dude. That's one of the weaker spans of time for the SEC. Really, since the SEC has become a different tier than the rest of the college football. I think the 3 worst years SEC-wise to me are probably, no order, like 2020. The one where Georgia played LSU in the SEC championship, I think it's 2021. Or is it 2022? That's 2022. That was up there. Definitely 2020. And I say 2015, 2016. I don't know which one. 2015 had Alabama, who obviously pretty good in the Natty. Ole Miss beat Alabama and was a good team. They just, Hugh Freeze is fucking terrible at closing the deal. But the SEC, I mean, that was a SEC East. That was a Missouri year, who I think went to 2 straight. They went to 14 to 15. That was in 3 straight, right? Because they won in 2013 too. So they've been 3 straight, I think. No, I think it was a Florida year, because Missouri did 2 in a row, 13 to 14. I think 15 was a Florida year. It sounds about right in my head. But Florida wasn't that good that year. Georgia was I think top. I think it was 10-3 that year, because Auburn almost beat them and lost in a kickoff return or something like that. So that wasn't a great Georgia team by any means. Tennessee was competitive, but not great. Florida wasn't great. South Carolina fell off by that point. Spurrier I think had left the previous year. So yeah, I mean, just a really I don't know, man. It's 2016 wasn't much better. That's the thing about it. The only reason I say it can't be 15 or 16, it could be both maybe, is because both were really bad years, dude. Hoss Juke, interesting play. I'm trying to think. In 2016, even I don't know who was. Auburn was actually really high in the SEC, but then Shaun White broke his arm. God, who else? I don't even know who was in the SEC championship that year. That's the thing about it. The SEC East. Was that 2 Florida straight? Was that Florida 2 straight years, I think? I don't know. I don't think it was. It wasn't Kentucky. It wasn't Tennessee. That was the first, whatever his name is, Kirby year. And they were 6 and 7. They weren't even that good. Wasn't Kentucky. Wasn't Vanderbilt. I guess it had to be the Florida and Missouri. I don't remember which one though. It's gonna eat me up. I'm not gonna look it up right now because mid game, but yeah, that was a really the East was terrible. The East was absolute dog shit in that couple of years. the West wasn't very good. Like LSU was a paper tiger in the Fournette years. Every year it felt like. They got their ass kicked by Alabama. Lost to Auburn, I think, once or twice. Les got fired after losing to Auburn in 2016. Orgeron, they got him to 10-3 or 9-4 that year as an interim. So yeah, that was, I don't know. A&M was, but Arkansas was like, that's the last few Brett years. They weren't bad. They just were not like the couple Petrino years they were championship contenders. That was done. That didn't happen anymore. That was finished. God, who else? I mean, that's about everybody, right? Alabama, Auburn, A&M, Arkansas, Texas. Yeah, I said A&M already. Yeah, I mean, I said LSU. That's pretty much everybody, dude. Golly, man, that was fucking horrible. I think Auburn was still number 2 in the West at 8-4, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's LSU like 9-3, something like that, but it was shit. It was a shit year for the SEC. Yeah, other than those, like 2020, I actually there's nowhere else I think is even close. Because I mean, the rest of the years are pretty much like SEC's up to par, right? Like from 2010 to 2014, it was so far away the best conference. It's not even fucking funny, dude. To win the SEC in that like 5-year stretch is like supreme dominance. Like 2010, Auburn had to beat like. Did we beat like a top 5 LSU team? That was before Arkansas got crazy the next year. So we didn't play a stacked Arkansas team, but they had a lot of talent. Played Alabama, who was like the end of the kind of Julio core. South Carolina, who was very good that year, not like elite, but pretty good. Georgia was ranked out. No, Georgia wasn't ranked. They weren't ranked. Clemson wasn't ranked. But some good teams, like I'm forgetting somebody, I feel like, but some good teams. And obviously played Oregon, and it was like a number 1. I think they were number 1 that year more than anybody else, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I mean that was like they had to have the best quarterback like ever, 2011, I mean obviously Alabama, LSU, but like Arkansas was number 3 at one point that year, before those two, and they just got the shit kicked out of them by both of those teams. They finished 11-2. I think that's when they beat Ohio State in the bowl game. So I mean they were fucking amazing too, Let me see here. And that was South Carolina, who was also that was a clowny team. That was the first like really clowny on the scene team. That's South Carolina team. They finished top 10. Florida. That was kind of the beginning of like they weren't bad in 2010, if I remember correctly. But like Will Muschamp, he was pretty good. He wasn't like amazing by any means, but he gave him a pretty high floor those couple of years. Gosh, who else? God, I don't even know who else. Really, really good years though for the Tennessee. Wasn't Tennessee was still down at that point. I think it would have been like the last Lane Kiffin year, 2011. No, he was in USC by that point. Who else? I mean, it's still like it's like 12 teams I listed. 12 teams in total at the SC at that point. 2011, and then we had like multiple teams that competed for a lot. Auburn was ranked, they had beat Ford, who was top 10 at one point. South Carolina was top 10 too at one point. So that was a really disappointing come down from the championship year. But Auburn was like really like not that bad. They played Clemson kind of well for 2 quarters I think maybe. And Clemson was like 11-2 in 2011, 10-3. That was the West Virginia game. They got the fucking meat beat out of them, but who else? LSU, you already mentioned LSU. Yeah, I mean, Georgia. I mean, that would have been part of the Aaron Murray tenure when he was like, he gave him a really high floor after 2010. They might have been good. I don't remember much though. I know they beat the fuck out of us. They might have been like top 15ish that year, if I remember correctly. Vanderbilt. That would have been our guy. That would have been James Franklin Vanderbilt, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure it would have been. Yeah, pretty good SEC. 2012 also pretty good. Alabama, LSU. Georgia was probably the best Rick team I got to watch. I don't know about like the mid 2000s Rick teams, but that's the best one I got to watch. Arkansas, it started off, had a sparkly start, but now it was just garbage after the whole Petrino shit. Florida was really good. Got Teddy Bridgewater. Who else? South Carolina's really good. Missouri first year. Oh, Johnny Manziel, A&M. Forgot about them. Draft day, Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still? Draft day, A. Wiggins. Fuck, Drake was a generational dick rider, dude. Like, I know niggas just say it's like homages or whatever, paying respect. Drake was a generational penis pumper. I mean, he kind of still is, but like, his cosign doesn't mean as much anymore, so people don't put as much of a light on it. But the shit he was wave riding, the problem with the waves were really good back then. Like McConan, Migos, Fetty Wap, like he was giving some top to some really talented niggas, man. So I mean, that's one thing. Like, it's different when you like fucking with Snow Day and Sexy Red. I guess not the same, not the same value in both what he contributes and both the people he's like slurping.
Looking for space. It's Jordan. Slam to the ground, but not before he gets the.
All right, let's get this shit over with, bro.
Well, that's kind of the advantage of third and medium, right? Is the defense, you keep them guessing. You throw it, you run it, that time they hand it off and they pick it up.
Yeah, and you can see the D drop back a little bit. It creates a little.
I love Big Ghostface kind of. I think it was a review from Views. It might have been Take Care, not Views. Where he was just like, yo, he's like basically like just kind of like illuminating that like Kendrick kind of. It actually had to be Take Care because it was part of his the Buried Alive snippet. He goes track by track and reviews albums back when he used to do them, and he just like. Yeah, Drake co-signed all these niggas like J. Cole and rocking all these dudes and just kind of like washing over his back. It just had like, it's the funny, I wish I could like pull it up right now. I don't want to take a break just to look at that shit, but he kind of just mentions like Kendrick. He'll use a picture of Kendrick. He doesn't even like say Kendrick's name. And it's just like Drake looking over his fucking shoulder for the niggas. A lot of people really like called Kendrick in 2011 being like the next dude. And Drake knew it. It was like Drake knew better than anybody with a platform other than like, I guess Game or Tech Nine or whoever got a, even earlier feature than Buried Alive. But I think that's where I first heard Kendrick was the Tech Nine joint. Because his 2011 project, I forgot the name of it, but I played the fuck out of Kendrick. The joint Kendrick was on that one. I played a Shut It album, period. That was a really... If you fuck with horrorcore, which I, horrorcore, like just weird ass hip hop, left to center, hot topic fucking hip hop, which I did, man. I don't know where it started at, because I wasn't big into music up until like I got like a laptop. I got to like go on YouTube and just like listen to shit, And I fuck with Kanye heavy, I fuck with, Forever and Best I Ever Had with Drake. Some basic ass hip hop, Lil Wayne, right above it, whatever. But I think I don't know what the first one was. I want to say hearing Tyler on Yonkers and B.O.B. some of his shit. I think that was kind of where I first got into like kind of left of center. And the Gambino, he had him and Tyler were on a regular show, which I fuck with heavy back in the day. And that show's incredible, man. Early Gambino, you had like Firefly, Bonfire, the Freaks and Geeks music video, man. That Freaks and Geeks music video. My problem right now is like my fucking jaw. Basically, what it is, my fucking jaw is like not shattered. I'm not going through the wire right now, but like I got basically like I clench, so my jaw muscles are like tough. So talking is fucking strenuous more than it needs to be anyway. So basically, we go from there to like those are the core tenets, right? Like and Hobson too. I was a huge Hobson guy. Hobson, Funk Volume, like all these kind of like intertwined at a certain point, you know. I really gotta be honest with you, like it's no like separation point. A lot of people were on this, by the way. Like, it was just like if you went onto YouTube and you could like see, which you couldn't, but if you could see niggas subs, I think you could see niggas subs actually, like they made them public. But if you could be a fly on the wall in that situation, basically you'd have it to where there'd be a 90% overlap, bare minimum, between like Hobson, Tech9, Tyler. Those are the big ones, right? Like Hobson and Tyler were of a certain like just like I don't know, a certain way of existing. Even though like the fans would like beef with each other, like this is a real hip hop, this is the devil shit or whatever. Like the problem is that both of them were just two different sides, like Eminem shit. So it's like they would work functionally because like they were just two different sides of the same fan. Like there was really not a real difference other than like I think fucking Hobson's gonna save hip hop, and then people that were Tyler fans were like, oh, I fucking hate hip hop, but this is the fucking coolest shit of all time. Well, shout out to Odd Future Talk. I'm telling you, man, there was so many fucking like white ass skater nerdcore ass niggas that would never fuck with hip hop otherwise. That like Tyler reached in such a way, and Odd Future in general, in such a way that like you couldn't fucking ask anybody else to do. There is nobody else that was high at that point. Lil Wayne, Eminem, fucking B.O.B. Like none of these niggas could possibly capture that audience that was just hard body Tyler stands at that point in time. They were just one of one. There was no preset for Odd Future, in my opinion, at least. Like, I mean, there was, like weird niggas. Like, I mean, it was Pharrell. I guess you want to say like, Lil B, like the precursor. Like, Lil B came out like a year before Tyler did. Like, and in Vogue, really. I don't know. I mean, this really wasn't like in that sense. I mean, you had like De La Soul and shit. Like, you had weird people that like being weird kind of like part of their charm, but you didn't have like fucking Odd Future. It just did this. And then you have that happen at the same time with Gambino, who like being a fucking nerdy, like I can't say the F word anymore. Like that's not something you should say because it's not culturally cool to say. But like to just sit there and say something like, what was the lyric? If I'm an F, say it right. I got way more than 2 G's. Spell it right. I got way more than 2 G's. I told you my jaw's fucked. Like it's hard to talk. A lyric like that is so fucking corny that like it just worked on such an. This is the same time that Michael Cera was A-lister in fucking movies. Michael Cera and Jonah Hill, who like his entire shtick for at least a fourth of his acting career was just being like the fat guy that you didn't want to, that did not want to be called fat, but like admitting that he was, or at least allowing himself to be called fat in front of a fucking camera is what got him to where he was at. But he Jonah Hill hated being called fat. Jonah Hill is one of the most self-conscious fucking people to ever have a shtick in entertainment. He hated being called fat. But that motherfucker had no other way of beating Jonah Hill other than letting that shit fly. But that dude was a fucking like a B-lister, a high B-lister. I don't think Michael Cera was higher listing in my opinion than Jonah Hill was in like 20. I don't know. I may be being revisionist here. I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head because if you go for Superbad, which is '07, where's Jonah Hill's follow-up? I don't know. Because Sarah had Juno and Scott Pilgrim, which were like, what solo joint did Jonah Hill have that wasn't like another Sarah or Seth Rogen or, you know, I forgot the director that did all those movies, but yeah, I think they were brothers. I forgot the name of them, but like Judd Apatow, I think it was. But like, I just don't. I don't know if Jonah had a joint like that up until like 2012 or 13. By 2013, it was definitely like a change in the guard, but also like Sarah did like less movies. I feel like at that point in time too. So it's like I don't know. Sarah just fell off the foot of his own accord. Like the second Sarah started doing like movies again like that, like I don't know, 2-3 years ago. He's done, you know, Barbie. He's doing a what's his name? Luca Guadagnino joint. He had another A24 that got Decade Heavy, if I remember correctly. Like he's just stopped doing movies for that fella for a while. I gotta see. I'm gonna break my own sabbatical here. I gotta see what movies Jonah Hill that at that point in time. All right, Jonah Hill filmography. I can't remember. Okay, 21. Well, no, that was still like. I'm thinking like after Superbad, before like he became that nigga, which was like by 2012. Like he was, you know, he passed up Sarah. Let me see here. So he had a good 2007. He had Superbad, Knocked Up, Almighty. He had a pretty decent 2007. All right, so 2008, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Was just Add Water good? I don't remember. I didn't listen to like a lot of these like comedian movies. Like it was weird. All right, 2009, Night in the Museum. Bruno, never watched Bruno. Funny People. They had a few big ones. Judd Apatow. Listen, Judd Apatow was keeping niggas fat back in the day. Judd Apatow was a one-man fucking wrecking band, dude. Wrecking band? Oh, that's how you say that. 2010, you had How to Train Your Dragon, Get Him to the Greek, which was a big movie at the point in time. I remember seeing that commercial everywhere. Russell Brand, imagine telling people about Russell Brand. He had Moneyball. By Moneyball, it was over with. By Moneyball, it was done. Like, there were two different tiers. That's actually the dividing point, I would say, is Moneyball. Get to the Greek, okay, like Megamind, like he was doing like, you know, animated shit. By Moneyball, it was done. Let me pull up Michael Cera's real quick. This 2012 is fucking crazy. 21, Django, and 2013, This Is the End, The Wolf of Wall Street, and then 2014, 22 Jump Street. It was over with by that point. We're talking like two different tiers of like actor. I wasn't even paying attention, by the way, to the fucking shit here. Can we make a field goal? I don't know. Alex McPherson, definitely better than Towns McGoo. Missed it. Alright, let's see what Michael Cera had. Let's click Superbad here and then go to Michael Cera. I like how McLovin wasn't even like top billing in that movie. Like he's not a co-star along with Jonah and Michael. Alright, let me see his filmography, but let's get straight to the meat. Alright, so 07, he had Superbad and Juno, so 2007 was good for both. They both had other winners other than Superbad. I would actually say, I don't know, Knocked Up and Evan Almighty against Juno. I think, I don't know. I never watched like Walk Hard, Dewey Cox. I never even like, I've like heard of Dewey Cox, but like I've never like watched anything to do with it. Judd Apatow's on fucking steroids in the spirit of time. God damn, dude. He was putting out fucking just numbers. So in 2008, Juno won a Grammy, right? Or am I tripping? Not a Grammy, an Oscar. critical acclaim, top 10. Yeah, it won Academy for Best Original Screenplay. And Ellie, well, I guess now Elliot, won she got a nom for Best Actress. Never mind, she didn't win it, but she got a nom for Best Picture. Yeah, Michael Cera, he won that one. He won '07. Let me see here. So he was part of a Stream movie, which is like one of like the last of those type of movies, the kind of satirical joints. He was top billing in it. Nick and Nor. Never watched Nick and Nor. Kat Dennings was the co-lead in it. I'm gonna have to, dude. There's like a. Can we just do like a fucking whole comedian movie, like just homage? Like I never watched a lot of those, but like those movies don't fucking exist anymore. And I've seen 1,000 like people that were of that era talk about why they don't exist. But like this movie, this rom-com does not exist. Nick and Nor's Infinite Playlist, that shit does. You can't make that. I mean, maybe you can make it, but it doesn't get produced. It's fucking crazy, man. Yeah, year 1 in '09, which was like another. It wasn't directed by Judd Apatow. It was produced, but it's like there's like a certain fingerprint Apatow had on like all these movies. But that wasn't as big as like some of the ones that Jonah was in. I'll give him '07, but I think Jonah won '08 and '09. In 2010, I think so. Scott Pilgrim against what? Glimpse of the Greek, How to Train Your Dragon, and Megamind. I mean, Jonah had like an objectively better 2010, but Scott Pilgrim was the best movie that came out, and Scott Pilgrim was like the landmark movie between either their filmography, like post Superbad. Like, I think that's fair to say. From 2008 to 2010, I think it's fair to say that like Scott Pilgrim was a role. And I know, like, Scott, like, Sarah's not the best part of that movie. I understand that. Like, that's been said 1,000 times. I get that part. But, like, you can just contend, like, just think about it. It's like, close your eyes and be like, okay, well, like, let's just lie and say that he is, right? Like, he's the best part of the movie. Just, like, lie. Be deluded. His role, even as it is constructed, I feel like I'm still taking that over, like, Megamind, right? Like, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm biased because it's my favorite movie of all time, but like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's my favorite movie of all time. I'm a little bit biased. It's 2011, right? He didn't have a movie in 2011. This is what I'm talking about. Like, the fucking work. You really gotta give Hill something. Like, he put in an insane amount of work coming out of like that fucking Apatow spoon-fed period, right? He was doing Apatow movies, but like he was doing everything. He was just doing any kind of movie he could fucking do. I respect the fuck out of Jonah Hill. He had a few good ones too, so I mean it helps. 2012, The End of Love and The Immigrant. Yeah, it was over with. By 2012, it was over with. It was a very. If you're gonna have Sarah over Jonah, it was like 2008 to May 2010. It's a very small window. I might have gassed it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna do a Jonah Hill versus Michael Cera deep dive later. I'm gonna do a deep dive. Are they cool? Are they still cool? I wouldn't be surprised if they did hate each other, but like, I don't know. I know neither wants to do Superbad 2, so I'm sure like in part probably because like that movie can't be good in 2024, and also like they're like old. I don't know. And also, I mean, just like there's a certain like hunger and a lack of borders that you have when you're not a superstar. Like, when you can make demands, as both those two could do in this movie, this hypothetical sequel, it's just concessions, you know, like, you gotta concede to better egos, and, like, both are just fresh-faced at that point, you know, you can just do whatever you want to do with them, and then, you know, Apatow, dude, my stumbling is killing me right now. Apatow was the guy in that room, like, you know. The SNL dudes, I forgot the fucking, I know Seth Rogen, the other dude is my SNL, I forgot his name, but they were like, they didn't really have that big a part in the movie, so like, they're the biggest actors, but like, they didn't really do much in the movie, right? the cops, as they were. Yeah, that was it. I really didn't have. I didn't have too much more to say about that topic. I went for like 20 minutes on it, but yeah, they were kind of weird to think. Like Sarah was bigger at one point in time. Sarah also just kind of fit. Like I guess I was gonna put like a kind of a closing remark. Like Sarah just kind of fit what was cool at that point in time. It was a very small time. I don't think nerdcore lasted past like 2010. I don't know if you could have a Sarah A-listing movie in 2015. I mean, we still have his filmography, don't we? Let me check. Alright, so what's the last, like... Okay, so... I'm just gonna, like, just let the game go. Should be a pick, right? Nope, because this game fucking sucks. So this is the end, which obviously doesn't count. 14... I'm just going through, like, by year. 15... He was part of Sausage Party, which also Jonah was. Lego Batman movie, Molly's Game, which is a good movie. He doesn't have a leading role. Like he doesn't have a leading role at all. Like he doesn't have one. I mean, I guess you cut the cartoon. I don't know. But I'm not watching the cartoon movies. I mean, like a leading role, like in a big film. Like I don't know, like what is Tyrell? I don't know what that is. You know, Barbie is effectively like the return of this guy as a serious actor in an A-listing, you know, a AAA, you know, fucking massive movie. It's an Ari Aster produced joint, not directed but produced. Dude, Sarah fell off the face of the fucking planet. Wes Anderson, that's what it is. Not a Guadagnino. It's like unreal when I'm looking at it. Like it's unreal how big this dude. Like this motherfucker was. I'm just gonna look up like Michael Cera. We need a stunted growth, but like movie edition. Like someone to go through. I can't dedicate myself to it. I really can't. But like, cause I wouldn't put in the necessary work. Stunted growth is like the deepest dive of all time for like athletes, but like stunted growth it does enough, right, to cover for like people who like don't know anything about these athletes. That's what I would ask for, stunted growth, but like just movie actors. I just don't know how he fell off. Like I don't know. I mean, it's one thing like to not take like, you know, as many movies, right? But like after 2013, you know, this is the end. Like he should at least be able to get like fucking, I don't know, like something like something that's like something like B-listy, something, you know, I don't know. I'm looking. It's a thread in 2015 from Reddit. Let me see here. I mean, he was in the title is "What Happened to Michael Cera." I mean, he was in a bunch of stuff in 2007, 2010. He kind of dropped off the map with the exception of AD and his cameo and This Is the End. He was enjoying the movies he was in and wondering why he stopped making movies. This is again 2015. This is a reply. I think he had a few movies bomb. I think his movie star career was a short-lived experiment. That's the way I always saw it from the start. I wonder how this is going to work. I don't even really believe he could last as a leading actor who could draw crowds. I mean, he was never like. But like Jonah isn't like. What's in my head is like leading actor, holding down movie. Everybody revolves around him. Because he wasn't as Scott Pilgrim. Like, Scott Pilgrim was basically an ensemble cast, but just, like, a bunch of nobodies. You could contend, like... I mean, I want to say, like, it's built around Ramona, but, like, it kind of is built around Ramona in a sense, you know? Like, it's... At the very least, like, those two have, like, equal value in the just scope of the movie. And everybody, there's so many people who have, like, really big weight in that movie, right? He's, you know, the he's not even co-lead in Juno. I mean, he's like the number two. He's number two probably looking back in Superbad. Like, it's been so long since I watched Superbad, but he's not like, off the top of my head, I think Jonah Hill has more presence, you know, at least in the kind of collective zeitgeist. Yeah, I don't know, man. Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg took his spot. I forgot about that shit. Because Jesse Eisenberg has a social network. God, that's tough to like have a derivative of you that's like probably he definitely had more spots than Sarah because he also had Now You See Me. He had Now You See Me. Was he also in Molly's Game? I mean, he might also been in like Jesse Eisenberg took his spot. Like took his entire niche. That's a crazy shit to think about, man. And Eisenberg just liked I think he liked the grind more, you know? I don't think Sarah's real life personality, I think it's the same as his, like, typecasted role. I don't think there's any difference in the two. J.C. Eisenberg, he kind of, I guess, wanted to grind a little bit more, you know?
Everybody in this stadium also knows the offense goes as this guy goes. He has got to play well today.
I gotta see J.C. Eisenberg's filmography here. He played one character and got tired of it. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's tough. He got typecasted, but he also, that was him. The problem is that the role he had was also him in real life. Like, from everything I've ever read about Sarah, that was like, he was, you know, Superbad, Scott Pilgrim, you know, whatever. Didn't people, like, turn J.C. Eisenberg into, like, basically, like, a Sigma type of guy? Like, Sigma, kind of YouTube, all that shit. That's, like, who he is now to a lot of people. Because he was, like, derivative of Scott Pilgrim for a little bit, you know? He's 41, wow. That was my guy, probably. Let's see, filmography. He's been putting in work for him. He's done a lot of movies, dude. Good grief. What's his first, like, Zombieland? Zombieland was huge. That was it Emma? It's one of the Emmas. Is it Emma Watson? I think it's Emma Stone. Not Emma Watson, because that was Hermione. It was Emma Watson, right? Emma Stone. What shit? Golly, dude. So Emma Watson's Hermione. Emma Stone is, was she Spider-Man? She was super bad. Yeah, definitely super bad, but... No... I always forget Superbad Spider-Man was fucking Kirsten Dunst. I always get those like two mixed up. Those two mixed up. Like Emma Watson and Emma Stone mixed up. But yeah, so Social Network after that's a good 2 years, dude. Social Network and then you know before that, damn, T.J. Watt. Let's go. 2011 he had Rio, 30 Minutes or Less. I don't remember that one. To Rome with Love. I think it's another rom-com. Let me see. 30 Minutes or Less. J.C. Eisenberg, Danny McBride, Aziz Ansari, Nick Schwartz, and Michael Pena, and Fred. That's a pretty good fucking cast. Holy shit. Oh, it was Woody Allen. Oh. This is 2012. So he did Blue Jasmine like what the next year. Woody Allen, dude, he's a fucking pervert, but that dude has some pretty fucking good directing. 2013, He's More Famous Than You, another one of those kind of like comedies you can't fucking do anymore. Now You See Me, 2013. Yeah, he just like skipped the Michael Cera line. Like it wasn't even skip because he started before him. Like he put in the work before him, but like he kind of just like passed him up. Adventureland, I mean, this cast is fucking something. This is 2009. J.C. Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, Ryan Reynolds, Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader. It's a pretty good fucking cast right there. Was that his breakout? I thought Zombieland was, but... And then, yeah, I mean, Social Network, I mean, that's kind of like... Kind of just passed him up. Let me see... What else we got here? I'll start like 2015 or stuff. And by this point, like, they're not exactly competing, you know. American Ultra, that was a military joint, right? American Stoner Spy Action. Topher Grace? Topher Grace, shout out Topher Grace. Let's see here. And then yeah, Batman vs Superman. Yeah, 2016, wow. Batman vs Superman, Now You See Me 2. He had a cameo in Justice League. I never watched Zombieland 2. Damn, I wish I don't know why I've never watched that. I like Zombieland 1. It's just like Zombieland, Kick-Ass, like just all these movies are so intertwined, you know.
Yeah, they have to recapture some momentum.
Just like kind of campy, you know, like it's still badass action, but it's not like, you know, fucking Marvel movies nowadays. Like it's like it wasn't Michael Bay shit either. Like it was just this. It fit a niche, you know. I don't know. I don't know. Boys of State beat UNLV. That's pretty cool.
With unbelievable field position like that, you better finish the deal, and they did.
Go ahead and close that shit up. Yeah, I might actually make this its own segment on YouTube, man. Just me riffing about like mid 2010s, fucking, you know. I'm not gonna edit it. I'm just gonna fucking just post the shit raw. My fucking nose is itching, dude. The one thing about having a mustache, it might be the mustache. It might be the. I love just seeing boomers like going like the what's happening in at small town. Like there's so many sirens going on. Like you know you live in a very privileged area when people do that shit 24/7. Like literally just like the second they hear a siren, they're just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? my peace is being disturbed by fucking police sirens. That's how you know you live in a very good area. They don't do that shit in Chicago, dude. I'm telling you right now, they don't do that in Chicago. I mean, fuck Chicago. They don't do that shit in. I like within an hour of my hometown. There is a very bad town. They don't do like siren checks. They don't do that. What happens? The white people go to the other side of the bay. There's two sides of the bay. There's one that's very privileged and white, and there's one that's not. And they just go to the side that's privileged and white.
What a great job by this defense setting the tone early. In the first half, they've been hitting the quarterback early and often. Make him feel uncomfortable. Make him feel that pressure.
I love that there's been like a crowd of Americans that have wanted public transportation, this shithole of a country, for ever since the fucking car revolution. How the fucking throw up? Golly, this fucking Coke, dude. I had Coke and I had Mexican, which I don't know why I do this to myself and fucking have both at the same time. Cause I fucking hate treating my body well, I guess. But it's just coming back up on me. Anyway, yeah, cars and shit. And it's just like, you know, when people say like this country serves even anybody's best interest, like I don't care, Republican. Well, I can't say anybody, but if you're like under, I mean, it's more just six figures. But if you're like not in the top 10 percentile financially in this country, like this is not a country that serves you. Like if you're some poor white person from the bottom of fucking Oklahoma, voting Trump will not help you out. I'm not gonna say voting Kamala would, but I will definitely say like the allegiance that people have to parties and not like ideas, you know. It's just fucking pathetic. I'll say it, I'm gonna go vote left regardless, because you know I'm never gonna vote for fucking Trump, dude. The problems are like the ideas that the Republican Party like founded on in my lifetime are like just antithetical to like a lower middle class black person. Like it's just like people don't really use their brains to like discuss politics. Like sometimes it's just that simple. Like if you are a poor white person, the Democrats can help you. Actually, the Democrats would help you more than a Republican like nominee would if you are a poor white person. If you are a wealthy white person, or if you are a well-off white person, if you are like $100,000 and up white person, then yes, I mean you would probably want to vote like red. You know, conservative idealisms would serve you well. Like if you're gonna tread, you know, fucking double wide, like, oh my god, fucking, I get to have free fucking insurance because I'm fucking poor. fuck that shit. Give me fucking repeal fucking Obamacare. I read some of this shit like how it was when the shit was before, like Obamacare, you know, Medicare for all, whatever you call it. That shit sounded like a fucking tragedy, man. That shit sounded horrifying, bro. I still got 3 times, might as well use them. I want to look at that, man. Like I don't know, you know, I could put it in chat or want to, but I don't want this to be a political. Speaking of political, Joe Rogan and Trump, I gotta watch that whenever I get a second. Pre-Obamacare health insurance. I'm sure somebody has some deep dive on this. Could be my listening material for the night. That should be a pick. Give me a block. Nope. The broken state of American healthcare, but she got it done a minute and 36 seconds. Let me hear this shit, man. The pros and cons of Obamacare. I'm gonna just start learning my ass off, you know. Alright. She has a whole book. So she's just doing, I guess, a piece on the book, kind of explaining, I suppose. Let's see here. Wait, this isn't even like a video. Okay.
He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. And the return man showing great vision to be able to find some space and put his team in much better field position. The offense lining up for a first down play. Looking deep down the right side. He's got it downfield for a huge gain. And he will house it.
When these offenses get in the rhythm, they're hard to stop. Already up early, got a short field, take advantage of it to get another touchdown. This offense is doing whatever they want to do and having a lot of success.
And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. That drive not too taxing on the playbook. One play, put it in the end zone just like that. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Guys, we'll see what the plan is for this Northern Illinois offense. One of the most valuable things a quarterback can have, David, short-term memory. Just forget that last pick.
She kind of like just basically states like what her piece is about, like what it attempts to kind of argue, which I respect. Like kind of hard to like summarize like a book in fucking a minute and 30 seconds. Look at some of the comments. Since medical costs become more affordable in a competitive market, a big reason why health insurance is hindering effective health care. We just have like not oligarchs, but you know. I mean, the thing is like the theory around like the free market is, I think, at least American free market. I don't know how other countries do this shit, but I think it's like a delusion that like people kind of like, you know, have to believe in, or like capitalism falls apart. Because like, you look at any other market, right? Like one that is theoretically a free market, like giants eventually grow no matter what. Like if you look at TV, you know, Viacom, Comcast, whatever, like just like maybe 4 or 5 players, right? And you look at phone, you know, production, like at this point. This is what we can actually look at, like, kind of track pretty easily, because it happened most of our lifetimes. We started out with Samsung, Apple, LTC, all being like somewhere in the same realm as each other in smartphone production, or at least smartphone, you know, purchasing, smartphone market share, in the early 2010s, because you know, iPhones were like out of the budget for most people. And then, you know, Samsung was like the Android, and you know, LTC, you know, they had their own kind of like just weird mishmash, right? Motorola was used to. I don't think they, you know, did quite as well with smartphones. They had a smartphone presence for a while, right? The point is, we had a lot of players that were like had shares they could live off of. Like they could continue to operate, you know, maybe not at, you know, breakneck profits, but they just operate comfortably. And now we have like we have Google, Samsung, and Apple. That's, you know, you just thought like off the top of your head right now, who is doing this at a level where they are like comfortably ahead of the rest of the market? You have 3 players, right? You really have Apple. You have Apple, you kind of have Samsung somewhere out there and Google somewhere out there. You know. So that's something that's happening within our lifetimes. You know, you look at video game manufacturers. So you had 40 years ago a decent diversity. You know, maybe like 6-7 companies. Now you have 3. You have 3, and you have Steam, who I guess is a 4th. And then you have Microsoft, who is probably gonna get out the market within like 10 years. You know, out of like hardware, probably get out that shit in like 10 years. You know. So it dwindles, right? Like it always. I think there's just an inherent like. Some people excel at this better than others, and there will always be upstarts. It's going to be another Ouya at some point. It's going to be like another, whoever else came along and came and went. It's going to be like some guys who just do enough of a market share to be comfortable, like Valve. Even the Steam that didn't work probably could just continue to, because their software do enough to survive, right? But I just think we always get to a point with just a capitalistic, kind of world where like a free market is going to eventually become a bunch of power players who can kind of, they have to operate within each other's kind of constraints, but like they can more or less like do some fuckery if they ever get a leg up, which is what we see with Sony. Like whenever Sony gets a leg up on Microsoft, they become a bunch of assholes when it comes to pricing. And they said they were Microsoft, but they did the same thing. Last time they kind of came out, they did Xbox Live, which PS3 did not have a paid online, subscription. Nintendo didn't, but those two were not in the same realm in terms of adoption for an online experience that Xbox Live was. So it just becomes like you kind of put your fucking neck on the consumer's throats, put your foot on the consumer's necks until somebody else like makes you take the foot off, and then you're like, oh, I'm sorry, now I'm the consumer friendly one, because I'm losing, like that's just like you lose the ball. What's the chick from fucking Charlie Brown that takes the football from Charlie? That's not Peppermint Patty. I forgot what her name was, but they're the bitch basically in Charlie Brown. It becomes a thing where you become, are you Charlie Brown or are you the bitch? Which one are you? That's how all fucking free market, I think, enterprises eventually go, What the fuck am I talking? Am I talking about fucking Obamacare and the free market on a fucking college football stream at fucking 1 a.m.? What the fuck is wrong with me, dude? The free market. What the fuck is wrong with me, dude? I was talking about Michael Cera versus fucking Joe Rogan. I'm gonna put this fucking Joe Rogan shit on. I didn't even mean to mention Joe Rogan in that previous piece, but I'm going to now put the Joe Rogan special on. I wanted to do it, and I'm going to see how this Trump interview goes. Kamala said she wanted to do it before Joe did, but I guess Joe signed off for it before Kamala did. Because Kamala's like hasn't happened yet. I know they want to do it, but. Alright, that's going to be very loud to the listener. I'm going to take that disc and free from this controller.
And that's why QBs look at tight ends so much, right? Especially when they're athletic, because they make short throws turn into long gains. Because of his ability after the catch, it's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
Streaming is very therapeutic, dude. I was doing nothing tonight. Like I was legit like I hooped, I got some food in me, and I was gonna like go to sleep early, huh? I was gonna go to sleep early, bro. And now I'm fucking having a good ass time, not even giving a fuck about this game at all, but like, just fucking streaming, dude. I think everybody should have, something they can do. Where Beyonce co-signed Camilla. Oh shit. And Kelly Rowland, wow. Damn. Dude, she has Obama doing campaign for her. She has the co-sign of Biden, who, you know, whatever that's worth. Taylor Swift and Beyonce. Like the two preeminent female voices in music of the last 20 years. That is incredible. And she might lose. Like she might lose. That's fucking amazing to think about, dude. This shit comes out what, 2 weeks from now? Like 10 days or whatever? It's still the 25th, so that'd be 6 plus 11. Well, it's 26 now, so 5 plus, so 10. So 10, yeah. There's no polls that matter to me, because, like, you got the fucking NYT, but after the whole, you know, to me, the NYT after the Trump shit in 2016, like, we're finished. And I don't think Nate Silver, he's even part of that enterprise anymore. But I just can't see, like, dude, this is nausea. I don't know what this shit is. This is fucking bad, bro. So this is what we got right now. So right now we got. Let me just see if I can get a touchdown real quick so I can get back on defense and start riffing. Ah, fuck me. I can't even tell you if we won the last few games, dude. I've just been. I've not been looking at this game whatsoever, bro. All right. I meant for that to be a keep, so I could throw it, but instead it was a handoff where I can't throw it. If we get touchdowns, I get back on defense and start talking my shit again. I don't want to fucking sit here and play this goddamn game. I want to sit here and complain about the fucking electoral college, man. Let's fucking go. All right. Get a touchdown. Hurry up, my little. Come on. Come on. I will say, these uniforms they gave us for whatever the fuck they gave these for, I don't know what the point was of these, but oh yeah, that was definitely intentional. Yeah, let me just the way they program throws after you get hit in this game are without a doubt one of the worst things, worst parts of this game, I would say. Like, I just like when I get hit and instead of like throwing it like 2 yards in front of me, like into the dirt, you know, I throw like 15 yards perfectly to a linebacker. Like, that shit really just grinds my fucking gears, you know. We're Peter Griffin, man. I need to listen to Peter Griffin, the Rejects. That's what I need to listen to tonight. That's a bathroom. You see that glitch there? You see that? Where the guy teleported. He didn't like walk over to get that pick. He like fucking teleported over that pick. I saw that, man. Anyway, so these are the latest New Hampshire polls. I'm not sure if this is like literally for the state of New Hampshire. This is just like period, right? I don't know. I have no clue, right? The polling margin in New Hampshire has changed. What the fuck is this? The state of New Hampshire, or it's just like everything, right? I don't know. I don't understand any of this shit, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Charlotte will send the offense back onto the field.
Apparently there's been movement. This is updated October 21st. Apparently there's been movement towards Trump in 20 states international, right? So these polls, I'm assuming these polls just happen to be in New Hampshire. I can't tell you what the fuck these polls do. I can't say. Emerson, so all these polls have like Camilla up, which scares me because I don't. This is New Hampshire, which I don't. I want a general. I don't want New Hampshire. I want a general like poll. I don't want New Hampshire. What am I supposed to do? Okay. So national, Camilla is 48.1%, and then Trumpito is looking at I didn't need to use a timeout. Looking at 47.6%. So 0.5%. Average of 14 polls. Last poll was well, not today, but should be a run here, I would think, but they might be stupid. Damn. So Arizona 1.5, Trump 1.2, Kamala 0.8%, Trump 0.3, Nevada, North Carolina 1. I didn't name Michigan, Harris for 0.8%. That's where we really just had the movement today. Fucking, well, that was 2 days ago. The whole Eminem, Tim Walz, all that shit. the Elon Musk thing and all that. North Carolina 1.1% Trump. Pennsylvania 0.4% Trump. Wisconsin 0.7%. Maryland 28.3% advantage for Kamala. What a broken tackle. New Hampshire 6.3%. Kamala. Ohio 6.4%. Damn. Is that one of the swing states? South Dakota 26.5%. That's that red a state? Shit. Florida Trump by 6.6%. Doesn't seem that bad for Kamala considering Florida. Harris. What? How bad is he have Georgia? 1.2%. They went blue for Biden, right? Harris 23%. For Maine District 1, Maine District 2, Trump 9%. Texas Trump by 5.6%. I guess they will never go blue. That was what we were hoping for. One point in time, I remember we were hoping fucking Texas would go blue. I don't know why, but New York 16.5%. New Mexico, that's Harris, New York. Harris, New Mexico 7%. Oregon 12%. Harris, Washington 20%. Trump, Alaska 7%. California 25%. Harris, Minnesota. I'm not reading this out. I don't know why. That's how we get to where we got to, basically. I don't want to belabor the point. So more states, I think, are for Kamala, I believe. What about Alabama? Alabama, Trump 99%. It's just fucking not even counting it, at that point. That makes me feel... I mean, if this is priced in, today, literally this moment where Trump has, had some real momentum to understand the last couple of weeks, I feel good that at this point it's still ahead, man. For our guy Kamala. The thing with Kamala, man, I mean it sincerely, is that you vote Kamala knowing that she's not Trump, and then you just hope, what it's basically been for the last 12 years, 8 years. It's been 3 elections, right? No, it's been 8. All right, so 8. No. Am I counting? I don't know if I'm counting Trump's first term or not. I don't know what I'm doing here. Anyway, you kind of vote a certain way, just knowing that hey, I want this reality. With Kamala, you don't have a reality. You just I don't want to be Trump. And I can take that. I can take that. I can rest at night knowing, I don't have a single clue of what Kamala is about, but it's just not Trump. I think people have to admit this shit. People refuse to admit. I think she's progressive. It's do you really think Kamala Harris is progressive? You think Kamala Harris is fucking progressive? Okay. People that vote Trump, people that vote Republican, period, will tell you directly to your face, I want to vote the party. They don't give a fuck about, if you're being honest, they don't give a fuck to say any lies. Oh no, I think the liberals, people that are honest. I live in the reddest state possible. I live in the reddest fucking state that you could possibly have. These people are going to be honest with you 9 times out of 10. Unless they think you're a liberal. But other than that, they're going to be listen, Trump, he's for the flag, he's for God, all that stuff. Now, if you get him a little bit drunk, they're going to be I'm voting this motherfucker regardless. It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit about nothing else. That's honesty. Motherfuckers don't want to be honest about anything nowadays when it comes to politics. I think immigration is really a big problem. They'll say, I think immigration is a problem, and they'll work with, by their own volition, a ton of fucking Mexicans. They don't do it perfectly fine every day. They'll be buddies with a ton of Mexicans. They'll go drink with them after work. You gotta just think what people actually do and not what they say. There's a overwhelming amount of people that are going to be voting Trump that work willingly with Mexicans and blacks, and they'll still tell you that I think fucking welfare shouldn't exist, while they themselves will be basically products of welfare and be friends with people who are products of welfare. I'm not saying Mexicans and black people are products of welfare. I'm just saying that's they'll be poor, basically. I guess they'll be poor is what I meant to say. They'll be poor white people that also work with poor black and Mexican people in like very poor jobs, and they all, because they all are poor, will benefit directly from government assistance, and they'll fucking sit there and vote for fucking Trump. They'll be like, yeah, my fucking SSI has been cut by fucking 25%. I wonder why. So yeah, 1 + 1 = 2, brother. And you can't listen to what people say. There's no good reason why a poor white person will ever vote Trump. There's none. I will honestly contend, unless I see something different in the next cycle, the post, because I would assume like regardless of next year or next cycle is the first like post-Trump cycle for the Republican Party. So maybe I'll get something I haven't seen in a while, but you can't tell me with a straight face that like there's been a Republican candidate, because there's only been one for the last 2016 to 2024, so 8 years. There's just no way you can tell me like they care about you, because they don't. They don't. I don't say Democrats will care about you more, but inherently, a party that at least pitches the idea of wanting to help poor people. That's the presentation. That's what they say. Is one that would help a poor white person. Unfortunately, well, I guess you can get some intricacies if you want. Like if you're a poor farmer, a Republican set of subsidies will probably be more directed towards you. But like fucking Biden and Harris, came out like I'm gonna be pro, fracking. Like I'm gonna protect fracking. So like it's not like shitty blue collar jobs aren't being protected by Democrats too. So I was thinking about green initiatives, but like they're I'm gonna dick suck fracking. I don't know. I don't think it's cut and dry, but I think you just look at the simple fact that like regulations are like getting fucking shredded. Like that's we're gonna cut down regulations. We're gonna like let people have fucking listeria. And here's the thing about it, man. Shit like that, like listeria outbreaks, E. coli outbreak, that happens in quality of food that more, it's gonna be more, consumed by poor people. Like Boar's Head isn't like cheap fucking dirt, which is what the original listeria outbreak that we're now kind of enduring came from. Well, not came from presented as, presented in the form of, what the fuck am I talking about? It mainly came with fucking Boar's Head meat. But I mean, like, rich people are eating like a higher quality of meat than that, Like it's decent stuff, but it's like it's not the stuff they would eat, So, McDonald's, like they fucking rich people eating McDonald's like that. You cut regulations, it hurts the people. It hurts the layman, basically. If you have biolab that can operate with more autonomy and less blowback if they fuck up, if biolab can just like sit there and just have a fucking sprinkler go off and end up with a plume of fucking poison air that kills a bunch of poor people or fucks up a bunch of poor people's work, that affects poor people in Conyers, Georgia. It doesn't affect the fucking trillionaire that's like, oh, I'm gonna vote Trump. The rich people that vote Trump, I get it. I completely get it. I don't get the poor people who do. That's all I can say. I don't get it outside of just the ideological, like, fuck Camilla and fuck the Blue Party and fuck motherfuckers. I get that, right? I get spite. I can get spite. That's what people are honest, Just be honest. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest people, Anyway, trying to put on this fucking Joe Rogan Donald Trump interview. I'm expecting Joe to pull a lot of punches. I've never listened to Joe Rogan podcast in full because I'm not like that. Like I'm not that type of person. But like it's just not a breed I am. But You know, I'll give it a go. You know, I listen to a lot of clips, I guess, but I haven't listened to any of the podcasts through and through.
To execute early in the game. Tight ball game, right at the
He
end.
has to pull punches because he can't be as fucking, I think, brutal as he can be with some of these people.
You have people that can focus in the moment or they can't. Great job by the team. Staying focused, understand.
I'm just thinking the premise of Trump going for 3 hours. Like, this is a 2 hour and 58 minute interview. And I just, like, Trump going for an hour. I'm just trying to think in my head, like, what that looks like. Well, let's let it play. R.P. Barbara Walters. I think she's dead, I believe. I guess a DT probably. Why can't I do this? Level 20. Alright, so this is our championship game.
Georgia Southern will kick it off.
The thing with Trump is that, as a speaker, you know, he does such a good job of, like, sprinkling heavy hitter insults with, like, subtle ones. Because, like, this piece, I'm like, I'm 3 minutes in, if I get to time date myself. What Trump does is that he kind of says that, like, when he was in his last few years of The Apprentice, basically he got there's like some mock poll, I guess, like post Mitt Romney or maybe even during Mitt Romney's run, where basically it's like, okay, here's how these candidates would fare, and then he says to, like, I mean, I guess I'm gonna misquote him. I just heard the fucking quote, but he's like, he polled better than Mitt Romney, and he's like, it just like, while just still going, which isn't that hard, frankly, and he just keeps on going. He just says, like, it's not that hard to poll harder than or better than fucking Mitt Romney, and he just keeps on going.
To the air, it's Bradley. Finds his target down the middle. He almost picked up the first down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short now.
And a really nice job by the wide receiver. If we're in a drag route, find space. They're in zone coverage. They're not covering man-to-man. Find a little hole. Look at that QB. Y'all get on the same page. You can tell they were, and that's why they got the
Gonna throw a shoe clock on and get this one over with.
He's at the 10. All the way into the end zone for a
Robbie disaster. It's just subtle, dude.
Start fast, and they want to establish the run game. That is exactly what you did. First drive, you hand the football off, making the big explosive run, setting the tone for this football game.
getting set for the point after. And the PAT makes it 7-0. Quick strike offense on that three-play scoring drive. And they finish it off on the ground, a 67-yard touchdown run.
I think so. He calls Bill Ackman and like Elon like longtime Democrats. There's such an interest that like that sector has that Trump like would basically like they didn't have an end before Trump. Like the Peter Thiels, all those type of people, just complete like. I can't call them grifters. They have actual reasons why they want to do this. Like it's not just grifting per se, but like it's like a legitimate interest.
He will do that, and you don't see a lot of offenses take the top off because of this guy.
Yeah, so it's like legitimate interest. Like they kind of go into it with. Sorry, I just replied to somebody's message. I don't think they have like parties. Like they might have had parties before they were like super rich, like had to defend their own interests. But like, you know, like if you're like a crypto head, and you're like, oh, I'm voting for fucking Trump, right? Like if you're a crypto head in that situation, like it's not because Joe Rogan's like you know like these people that are longtime Democrats are like now seeing the machine working against Trump. Like that's like the implications. Like that's why they're doing this. It's not because of that. It's because like this guy's like I will bend over backwards for like crypto VC money, right? Like, you know, like please support my pack, you know, or please bring your pack over here and give me money, you know. I don't think Trump really gets fucked by crypto. I'll be honest with you. Like I don't think he like has any like real personal belief towards it, and I don't think like if you were giving him money, I don't think you necessarily care about his beliefs. It's just like you can kind of hope that the SEC head is somebody who's not Gary Gensler, or you know, somebody that's not as dogmatic towards like fucking with crypto as a person, you know, just as a human being. Just you know, so I get it, right?
And now on second down for this offense. Using his legs, it's Connor. The ball scores free.
Oh, that's beautiful. Love to see it. Amazing, just amazing, man.
I can't imagine what goes through your mind when you cough it up. You're like, oh no, and you just huge panic. I got to get back to the football. He did a good job finding his way back to the football after he made the mistake and fumbled in the first place.
Aaron is trying to bash it forward. He got a couple. It's down at the 11. Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. The give from the gun. Burns his way ahead for about 3. It's down at the 8. As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. Looking downfield, it's Leonard. Let's it fly. Throw into the end zone.
Just got a pick. I wasn't looking, bro.
Who says defensive backs don't have hands? Nice job breaking on the football and making the catch. A lot of times you see guys swat it down, or you see them trying to catch it. It looks like they have 2 left hands. Defensive backs don't catch real well. Nice job breaking on the football. Nice job securing the INT and actually catching it.
Now they'll run the draw. And here's the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and that'll send us to the second quarter.
I will say one thing about Trump, dude. I didn't talk with my hands very often before I saw Trump. I think I mocked him so much with the hand shit I started doing it like inherently. The talking with your hand shit, which is not like a Trump like you know thing in of itself. Like a lot of black people, a lot of Italian people, a lot of people that are expressive ethnicities do the hand shit. But like it's just I don't know, man. It's hilarious, dude. Until you like look at him look at him speak, you know, not just like hear him speak, like look at him speak. You don't really like get how often he does it. Like it's like every 5 seconds, just like fucking. It doesn't end. Like it's just continuous talking with your hands, which I just find beautiful, you know. Like trying to literally like what he tries to do is almost like set the image of what's happening with his hands, which is like obviously not like possible. Something that's, you know, mundane. It's like, yeah, we were building a fucking hotel and, you know, there were motorcycles outside. Like, you can't depict that with your hands. You almost feel like you're part of the image when he does his shit with his hand when he's talking.
He's looking to throw it. Unloads to the right. He got a hand in there, knocks it away, incomplete.
I'm not trying to catch the ball as a defensive back all the time. I'm just making sure you don't catch it. Great job getting a deflection, fight through the hands, make sure he can't put his hands together to try to catch that football.
And the pass is incomplete, and there's a penalty flag down, and no big secret why. That receiver was being mauled by the defender. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. The defense in a most benevolent move, giving the fires deep toward the end zone. Into double coverage, and he picked it off. And the offense makes the tackle in frustration after the interception. Drive comes up empty, and it's a turnover. Looking for a productive play on first down. Back to throw, it's Leonard. He lobs one high down the left side. And they can't make the connection, going for a big play on first down. Here comes the offense on second down. Misfired on the last play, they'll go back to the air. This time he's got it. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before.
He's like dick riding the White House right now. I know for a fact that, like, I mean, it's been, you know, 2016 or so. It's been a while, but like, I remember for a fact he's shitting on the White House. Like the design of the White House. He's like gassing the White House design up, but he did not have that same tenor 10 years ago. However the fuck long it's been. I'm not good with time, obviously.
He's gonna pass. And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes. Timeout called here by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half. Wants to fire on second down. Caught in the backfield, it's Connors. And that defense doesn't allow a cutback, and they get him out of bounds after a short gain. Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's third and long. And sure, tackling there to keep
Baron Trump being 6'9" is one of the most
the defense going to stop the
obscene things that have ever happened. And I don't know why, like, because Trump has like a tall family, right? Like, people talk about, you know, him like gassing himself up physically or whatever. He has obviously very good genetics. Like he is tall, his kids are tall. Like, you know, they're all pretty much tall, right? Like, but 6'9" for someone who's such a fucking, I think it's because like Trump's a terrible person. Like the idea of like, I mean, I'm like, again, people got to be honest about this shit. I think there's such a amount of like disgust for Trump as a person, Donald Trump. That like the idea that he produced a kid that basically like would be model, like, yeah, like, yeah, D1 baby. Like, when you think about D1 baby, like, oh my god, I want my kid to be a fucking athlete. Like, this kid obviously like is not like at all physically like stout. But I mean, just the frame, like the height. The kid got blessed completely. And I think people like kind of resent that to some degree, like just the premise of like this piece of, well, I can't say the kid's a piece of shit, but like this product of a piece of shit, like model genetics, right? Like just in terms of, you know, what you want out of your quote unquote D1 baby. You gotta be honest about this shit, you know.
ready to go here in the second half. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. Georgia Southern has it back, and here comes the offense again. Trailing by a couple of scores, they'd like to generate some confidence here early in the third quarter.
Down 2 possessions, the coaching staff met in at halftime, and they've probably scripted this opening drive. Just like they do at the start of the game, they've now got an idea of what plays they feel most confident in, what plays their quarterback is seeing the best to go out here and execute a score.
Well, and it's nice to get the ball first. Like, I got the first opportunity to close the gap a little bit, apply some great game pressure to these guys. So I think getting the ball first, driving down, scoring right here would be huge.
Getting some heat. Got out of trouble and throws. Fires to the tight end. Stopped after making the catch. Georgia Southern in a hurry. to throw. It's Leonard. Quarterback tried to scramble around for a while, but the defense able to bring him down.
You have to imagine the game plan in the second half. Being down, I got to come out and throw the football successfully, but how about this offensive line? They don't do their job. They don't protect their guy, and the defense setting the tone right out the gate.
Georgia Southern brings on the punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. So we'll see the offense on the field to start this drive. They torched this defense with an explosive passing play for a score last time out. Let's see if they go right back at him. Opening play of the drive from the 39. They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. Looking for a huge play. And it's knocked away downfield. The DB getting a hand in there. After the incompletion, it's second down. He's looking to throw. Fires to the right. Just missed on the connection.
Oh, we're hitting a fucking desk like a novice over there, you know?
And you see quarterbacks and wide receivers in the offseason always working on timing, always working on throwing on air. But when you put a defense in front of them, now things start to speed up a little bit. A lot of times you'll see these little mistakes and where it looks like just they're not on the same page all the time.
This is the absolute right call. They're going for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Got the quick pass. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down. A new set of downs after completion. Sometimes we don't give enough credit to a receiver knowing exactly where he needs to be on the field, and they pick up the first down there.
Listening to Donald Trump give a fucking, like, recollection on, like, the Civil War and General Robert E. Lee and Lincoln's perception of General Robert E. Lee is one of the... Like, I didn't expect this interview to open like that. It's just like, almost like a cold opening. Like, it's fucking weird. I don't know. I can imagine Trump being, like, something of a historian, like, at least, like, a surface level, like, I know, like, big events type of shit. I just can't imagine a world in which, like, he's, like, really digging, like, the niches of, like, Robert E. Lee and how dour Abraham Lincoln was about Robert E. Lee. I don't know, man. It's just... It's funny. It really is funny. This is so far, like, worth listening to, I will say. Not what I expected at all. And I'm having fun listening to it. Robert E. Lee, I will say, like, outside of Trump's, you know, piece here, is a very heralded general, from what I've seen from people who at least present themselves as knowing about this stuff. If he actually is a good general, I don't fucking know, because I don't fucking, you know. I remember watching Bonaparte, the Napoleon movie from, God, it's the same fucker who did 300, right? I think it's Ridley Scott. I remember watching that movie, and then I just remember, like, all the shit I read about Napoleon being like a fucking dynamo, just leader of men, just a fucking maverick, outside of the Russia shit. And, you know, just watching this representation of his major, you know, kind of moments from Ridley Scott, I was just like, this dude is a fucking midget that sucks dick at leading and got lucky every single time he ever got anything good happen to him. And that's the thing about, like, the way you receive information. That matters a lot. You can be told the same thing two different ways, and if the one way just is more vibrant to you, then that's what you're going to go with. And I mean, I still probably think Bonaparte's a pretty decent general, you know, leader of men, all that shit. I mean, like, the guy basically got exiled from France and came back to France. And these motherfuckers like, oh shit. Bonaparte, let's fucking go. And that was after losing dramatically in the kind of the conquest of Russia, like losing badly, like thousands of men, and what was a gigantic lead men-wise. just being shot. You know, like they got not millions, but like thousands just killed over nothing. A really fruitless war. At least that fruitless battle. You know, they really need to fight Russia. And you take that and you're just like, yeah, I mean, he had to be a decent leader, man, at least in terms of like the same way like Hitler. His greatest strength military-wise, like he wasn't a military guy by any means. The great strength he had, though, was that he could just instill such a hysteria in people as an orator, as a speaker. At least for, you know, people that were downtrodden and, you know, just needed to believe in something. More or less, Hitler made himself like a messiah to these people. Bonaparte kind of had the same thing going for him in that, like, France was beaten down by the Reign of Terror. You know, so he kind of just went into, like, the psyche of these very decrepit, you know, well, not decrepit, but, like, just shuttered French people. Like, hey, you know, we don't have to be fucking bitches anymore, you know. We can be fucking more than this, you know. We can be on top. And I did being on top is something that, like, every nationalist, like, individual, like, anybody that you just know of that's like, I know America's number one. I understand that person could be easily cultivated into such a fucking frenzy as Germany doing the Third Reich or France doing the Napoleon Bonaparte era. Like, nationalism is a very blind adoration. It inherently asks you to move past a lot. Like, for those people who were fucking, you know, going through the post-World War Germany that was just fucking war-torn and barren and all this shit, awful to live in, obviously. Like, to give them the premise of, like, Germany can be number one again, it can not only be number one, but it can be number one everywhere across the entirety of the fucking world. Like, whatever, like, dogma was required to get to that point, those German people would have fucking moved past the shit in a second, as evidenced. I mean, more German people who did not believe in Nazism or, you know, I'm like, I don't want to get my shit taken down, but, like, you know, the main, I think if you get to the point where you talk about the Holocaust, it's like, you gotta get to the point where you're like, okay, well, I don't know if this is okay to talk about on YouTube, because YouTube will take you down for anything, but, like, you get to the point where you think about the Holocaust, you know, you're just like, okay, there had to be some people, like, out of however many Germans you had there that were not in favor of that. Obviously, you had some German people that would hide Jewish people and would even transport them to other countries, neighboring countries, so they weren't all bad, right? But, like, kind of thinking to yourself, like, how do we get to this point where it's like, I had an Instagram message, where it's like even a thing, you know? And that's why, like, it's just it's the same thing with the Civil War, you know, fucking, really with anything to do with, like, human trade. Basically, you as, like, the people that are, you know, the main traders, I guess, you're telling the layman that needs help tilling the farm, like tilling the fucking cotton, that, hey, you're having it really bad right now. Like, you know, you don't have enough men. You can't really afford to pay other men to help you because you don't make enough from this cotton to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take human beings, like sentient human beings, they're going to make them effectively work dogs, and they're going to be paid nothing. You're going to buy them from me, and you're going to pay them nothing. And once you present that to, you know, what you have to do to get to that point is that you have to tell this white man, we'll just use, like, we'll use the slave trade that most people, like, know about, the American slave trade. Or, I guess, they're taking Africans out of fucking Africa slave trade. You know, went to America, Mexico, fucking everywhere. Britain, you know, everywhere, right? But what we'll do is that we'll sit there and tell you, the guy buying these, the ethnicity primarily buying these African people, that you're superior by some delusion. But really, the illusion, the delusion, or whatever illusion you want to say, all the effectiveness really is that we just need you to believe enough that you are superior. Because if you don't think that, then you sit there and say, well, I just bought a human being, and I'm going to make them do things they don't want to do. I'm going to ball and chain them to make them do it. And then I have an option. So if you believe that you are equal to that person, the moral aspects of it become very questionable, obviously. But once you think like, hey, you know, this is just a fucking inferior being, 3/5, as they said. Once you get to that point, you're like, okay, well, I can excuse this pretty easily. And that's how it all works. That's why there is no effective difference between American slave trade and its treatment of the black people to Nazi Germany. It's not really a difference. It's all about the same, I would say. It always stems from the same point. The same way you cultivated a nation in which could operate. Get the fuck out of here. That's just the most ridiculous thing of all time. The same way you could cultivate a nation to believe in Nazism, Jewish hate, anti-Semitism. The same way you cultivate slave trade. That's how it works. I just gave you an entire life lesson. I gave you the entirety of the breakdown there. You don't even need to go to school anymore.
I love competitive coaches. I love competitive teams, and they know that their job is to go out and get a W, no matter where you go. You want to play in the parking lot? We'll go meet you. Great job on this team being ready, getting the W.
That's going to do it for us from here for Jesse Palmer, David Pollack.
How bad do I want to watch that Stephen A. Smith, Steve Hannity interview? I don't think I want to watch it bad, but I kind of want to watch it a little bit. I don't know how far to get into it before I'm like, alright, this is fucking... I don't know how long it is. I do like the premise of, like, you know, a shock jock or a sports fucking analyst just, like, going and just decrying, you know... Am I using that word correctly? Decrying. Yeah. Decrying the ability of a fucking, you know, a political talk show host, which is like the easiest job of all time. And then the current climate is definitely the easiest job of all time, because you just gotta play to the general idealisms of whatever your audience is. You don't have to be right or honest or anything, really. Yo, Rogan let Trump riff for like 5 minutes on like just crazy shit. Like, not really crazy shit, but just like nonsensical nonsense. And then he's like, yeah, everybody knows this stuff. So why don't you stop him before he started riffing for fucking 10 minutes about this if you didn't want him to talk about it? The thing is, people don't seem to like have the interest. Like, once you get a guy this caliber, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or whoever, they don't seem to want to stop the person and shape the conversation. I don't know if that's like supposed to be like insulting to like be like giving, because I mean, if you go to like a fucking like a no jumper interview with like whoever the fuck, like Adam 22 is like the leading voice in the conversation. He's like shaping the conversation. I guess if you get Trump, you got to like let Trump riff sometimes, I suppose.
First down for the offense. Looking for space. It's Giddens. Picks up a useful 5-yard chunk out to the 30-yard line. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. trying play action. Finds his big tight end. They'll finally get him. This Kansas State offense is moving quickly down the field. They'll try the run. Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry. Couldn't get him blocked on that last one. Now it's 2nd and 14. Johnson wants to throw it. Finds his tight end. And he's dragged down. They have relished this tight victory since the last time these two got together, Colin.
That's just winning is beautiful. And when you beat your rival and you get those bragging rights, Palmer, it is a great...
And the defense gets to the quarterback.
One thing I love about
Kansas State really has this drive rolling. They'll go to the ground. And maybe they want to try somewhere else because there is nothing doing in the middle of this defense. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Out of the gun to give to the back. Tackle is made at the 28 after a pickup of 3. Last time these two got together, it was a tight one, Jesse.
it seems like every time these two teams play, the game just feels faster, right? Because it is a rivalry game. There's just a great...
And the pass rush is effective. Joey met the... And the Wildcats look to keep this drive...
Okay, I will say, like, Joe is basically asking a very targeted question towards Trump, and he's just like, he's not answered it like 3 times in a row. This is what I'm gonna get. I don't know. Like, I don't know why I expect like Joe Rogan would like shape a conversation with fucking Donald Trump, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's like almost a civil duty, like on what it unfortunately is like one of the biggest platforms in all of media, like to watch this. Although there's nothing that like, at least my expectations, there's nothing that could possibly be said here that would probably make me like more endeared towards like Trump's position, because I know the position is saying more or less of what we fucking gotten for the past 8 years with this fucking guy. So I don't know why I'm watching this, but fuck it, let's just keep it going.
The Wildcats have their offense in high gear. Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3. Ready to fire from the pistol. Off play action. Let's it fly.
Oh my god.
And it is. Kansas State pushing the pace. It's reverse. Not much working there. It'll be 2nd and 9. The biggest lie college football coaches tell is nameless, faceless opponent. David, game like this, you know their name and you know their face.
You know him well, and it does mean just a...
And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18. The 7th play of this opening drive will be...
I see the pass breakup. It's fucking impossible to get this.
Johnson wants to throw it. Forced out...
Like, look at this. He goes into fucking a shell every time he gets any kind of pressure on 3rd down. Just throw it up, you fucking asshole. This is the hardest thing to do is just do this. Because they're gonna run on like 1st down. Like this is a run team. They're gonna run on 1st down, and then you stop them for like 2nd and 8, some shit like that. Okay, so RPO, right? Okay. So
Great job by
you get this, right? This is what you get. This is what you're looking at this point. They're gonna run. It's, second and short. They're gonna run. I mean, that's just what you would do in a situation. So you're gonna stop this, right? It's 33. Now, analytics plays a throw on this, I would think. So I'm gonna just play run and hopefully, probably like a cross over the middle, a slant, something like that. That's probably what a inside breaking route. But they're a run team, right? So they play, they play that. It's just like it's either run or it's like he scrambles instead of throws in a third and long, and then he effectively in the same situation where it's not a throw, and if it's not a throw, you can't break it up. It's really the play style of the fucking offense that's like fucking me more so than just like anything else. Like just they want to run, like, they don't want to throw. It's just not what they want.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw.
That's the best I'm gonna get. I gotta get a stop now.
The defense putting on the heat and forcing the incompletion. The 7th play of this opening drive will be a 3rd and
I said this is only like 30 yards.
Johnson looking to throw. He lost one down the sideline.
Okay, so we finally got it.
Picked off. He'll try to take it back. He's inside the 40. And a big return after
We got everything.
he sets up the offense.
Took long enough.
Possession.
Wait, did we get it? Well, I don't think we got all of them. What the fuck? Oh my god. Anyway, let's go play this one. Brazilians, man. Gorgeous.
This College Ultimate Team Challenge presented by EA Sports College Football. As always, if you want to check what goals you're going after, just go to the pause menu. In this challenge, you'll be facing the Kansas State Wildcats. Now to my guys in the booth. Take it away.
First down here for the offense. Use the play fake. Now to throw. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. After the misconnection, it's 2nd down. Johnson wants to throw it. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense. The 7th play of this opening drive will be a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17.
Pretty nice as a defense, right? When you can go nickel, put 5 DBs on the field and not have to blitz anyone, trusting your front four to get the job done on 3rd down, and they do it right there, getting the sack.
Slips through the line. Touchdown, Rock Chalk.
Imagine a nigga point at you as he runs to a touchdown.
Always a momentum builder.
Intercept the pass? Are you serious? Intercept the pass, okay.
Welcome to College Ultimate Team Challenges presented by EA Sports College Football. Don't forget, you can check your goals in the pause menu. In this challenge, you'll be facing the Kansas State Wildcats. Now to my guys in the booth. Take it away.
On first down, here comes this offense. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. Finds the tight end. And that corner came in hot despite knowing that he was giving up some size.
I love the decision-making by the quarterback here. You're trailing. It's a 2-minute situation. You're not just throwing to receivers, but you're trying to find matchups.
And the pressure will get there. The sack. Down he goes in the waning moments. That could be a costly play. On third down, he drops the throw. Gets rid of it. Catch in the middle. It's Giddens. And they'll spot it at the 38, and that'll be plenty for the first down. Trying to get everybody set with the clock still running. And the offense just chooses to spike the ball. Got to get everybody lined up quickly. Time winding away. They've got to push the ball down the field. Johnson looking to throw. And he can't get it off. Taken down. What a...
This piece this motherfucker just had about the Supreme Court justices is one of the most unfortunate things I've ever heard in my entire life. He got 3 in. I don't know if he's right about most people not getting none, but he got 3 in. He got 3 that are... I think he got, what, Amy Coney Barrett, Kavanaugh's fucking sexual harassment guys, and, I don't remember who the third was. I mean, I'm sure they were all conservative as fuck, which is the problem, but... The reason it's a problem is... Wait, we need to get a pick. We got the pick. Holy freak. We can play it all. The first drop. Wow. Trump's nominations. Supreme Court's Supreme Court nominations. Neil Grush. I don't know who that is. I will be honest with you guys. I don't know who the fuck that is, but let's see. Supreme Court political links. $85 overall. Let's go. All right, so it's a 6-3 conservative majority. Okay. I think it's an Asian one who's one of the Republican, or not Republican, Democrat ones. There's the black one that I think Biden nominated. Yeah, Ketanji Brown Jackson, yeah. I mean, look at some of the Ryder Starback. Okay, can't use that at all. I'm not putting this motherfucker in over fucking Lamar Jackson. I'll tell you that right now. I wonder how old the conservative ones are. Like, I know Clarence Thomas, yeah, old as fuck. Is he the oldest? John Roberts. And George Bush one. God. There's a lot of them like are back to back in terms of age. So, like Clarence Thomas and John Roberts, like that's gonna, you know, I'm not saying anything, but like he wants 2 spots open back up. Like 1940, 1955, or when those 2 were born.